Hello everyone and welcome back to our reading of I Live in Your Basement, Chapter 39. Let's get started. Am I dreaming? I asked in a tiny voice. Keith didn't reply. He pointed to the chair. Sit down, he ordered. I glanced at the door. I thought about escaping, but I suddenly felt so tired, so totally weak and weary. My legs started to give way. My whole body trembled. I'm so tired, I moaned. I turned back to Keith. You win, I murmured. You've beaten me. He smiled and pointed again to the chair. I slumped into it with a long sigh. I can't fight you, I told him wearily. I don't know if I'm dreaming or awake, and I don't have the strength to find out. His smile grew wider. A victory smile, I guess. His dark eyes flashed. You win, I repeated sadly. I'll do whatever you want. He jumped to his feet and crossed the room. Then he patted me on the shoulder, as if I were his puppy dog. Smart boy, he said. He stood in front of me and crossed his arms. His grin was frozen on his face. I knew you'd see it my way, he said. Because you were a very smart boy, Marco. I lowered my head. I couldn't stand seeing that sick grin on his face. I know you will take very good care of me, Keith continued. I know you will do whatever I tell you to, for as long as you live. He suddenly spun away and started to the door. Where are you going? I demanded weakly. I'm going down from the basement, he replied, where I live. And do you know what I'm going to do? No, I choked out. Guess, he demanded. I can't guess, I snapped. Give me a break! I'm going down to the basement and make a list of all the things you can do for me right away, Keith said. You wait here, Marco. When I finish my list, I will come back and we can go over it together. Right, I muttered under my breath. I rolled my eyes. Was he serious about this? Did he really expect me to be his slave forever? He stopped at the door and turned back to me. Before I go, there's one thing I want to show you, he said. He took a few steps back into the room. Then he opened his mouth wide. Shiny pink stuff poured out of his mouth. For a second I thought he was blowing a bubblegum bubble. But I quickly realized what was happening. His glistening, red insides poured out of his mouth. Yellow organs clung to the pink flesh. His purple heart plopped out from between his teeth, pouncing inside a thick web of blue, rope-like veins. I stared in horror, watching him turn inside out. Then I started to scream, and Keith opened his mouth, teeth on the outside, and he screamed too. Well, what is that? The end of the most recent dream within a dream. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll see you next time. See ya!